gals, and welcome back. Internet went down. I don't know what the hell's going on. Hopefully the internet doesn't go down again. Let's see if we can boot up the public test realm again. So laggy. Oh, I know what that is. Yeah, I know exactly what that is. I fixed that a long time ago. Thought it was freaking stupid. It's the max background FPS that's set to like ridiculously low. Did Kubus pull the plug? I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what happened. All of a sudden the internet went out. I'm back though. It's rather unfortunate since I literally was like almost 150 people in stream, and of course when the stream goes down, everybody disconnects. So, let's see, what did I get done? Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and set my skills real quick. Let's see. So we're gonna use Blight here. Bone Spear goes. Decompose takes its place. Corpse Tendrils goes here. We also need Army of the Dead. God, I can't even fit Corpse Tendrils in, can I? I can't even fit Corpse Tendrils in, because if I do that, then I won't be able to use the Golem. I hate that they made the skeleton and the golem into separate skills, and made it so that you had to utilize them all in tandem. I hate that they did that. All right, well, if that's the case, let's go ahead and grab the gloom again. And then we got 2 more points. So I guess we can throw them into inspiring leader. It doesn't really matter. You can use a zoom out in the options auger. It's basically options, and it's right here. It's view distance far. It only works when you're outside of town, though. So when you go outside of town, you'll see that it immediately takes place. I mean, it's super easy. You just walk outside of town, and as soon as you walk outside of town, your character goes whoop. See? Just goes whoop, and then when you walk back inside town, your camera comes back in. I don't know why they decided to do that for only outside of town. I would have rather it have been permanent, but it's only outside of town. All right, we need some equipment. I don't know what the hell I'm wearing, or I guess I need gems too. Did they give me any materials for gems? Can I craft up gems? They did give me gem materials. Okay, well, let's go do that real quick. Let's go check out the gems. The jeweler got moved over here, which I'm not really sure why, but he's right here now for some reason. Let's go ahead and see what the gems do. Okay, so Royal Ruby is overpower damage, armor, maximum life, jewelry, fire. Okay, so nothing really changed there. Amethyst is damage over time, strength on armor. Okay. And then shadow resistance. Vulnerable damage. Instead of vulnerable damage when monster is... So instead of crit, it's actually vulnerable damage? Wow. And it also became dexterity. And this one is intelligence. And this one is willpower. I'm kind of upset that they took away the defensive statistics. They basically took away the defense on the Royal Sapphire, so the Royal Sapphire no longer gives you fortification damage reduction, and the Topaz no longer gives you the damage reduction for being under some sort of crowd control effect. And did they also take away the thorns too? They took away the thorns as well. So there's no more thorns. I mean, some of these changes are okay, but like, why is life on kill still on the skull? Ultimate damage is still on the Royal Diamond, which is one that nobody really uses. They took away basic skill damage. No, they didn't take away basic skill damage. Okay. So basic skill damage is still there. I mean, I guess I don't really know what to do here. I guess let's just go with Royal Emeralds. Did they really only give me enough for one Royal Emerald? That's it? I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 gems. And I've got enough for 1 gem out of 10.
May the light keep you.
Is there a... Can I talk to this guy again and get another set of Dewjanks? No. No, I cannot. Does the itemization and all that included in PTR? PTR is everything. We're testing everything in PTR. Everything that they talked about in the dev chat and everything that's in the patch notes, we're testing it all today. Gonna see if they gave me any of the ones that I need for summoning minions. There's the Frenzied Dead. That'll work. I mean, a lot of these are just kind of meh. I mean, I guess I just need to get out there and start killing stuff, but I mean, this character is hardly set up correctly. Hardly. I guess we're about to find out how well he can do by himself.
Not while I'm in town.
Alright, so Army of the Dead should automatically res everything, which is what we're looking for. Oh yeah, you know what we didn't do? We didn't set up the warriors. So they changed a lot of this stuff. They basically changed a lot of the ways that these guys are upgradable. And we got taunts on the defenders. I'm kind of curious to try out this one, although I do like the additional warrior. Let's see how... You know what? Let's just go with the full army. Let's go with the full army. Try to think which one I want here. You deal 3% times increased damage for each active Shadow Mage. Interesting. His bone spikes seem kind of interesting. I actually wanted to try in the golem's pull-in. Apparently the golem has a pull-in now, the iron golem. And this one right here, iron golem slams and also pulls in enemies. So that'll be our replacement for corpse tendrils. I don't know if it's gonna work, but try it. Alright, so we need to test this guy somewhere where it's actually challenging. Obviously, we just, like, wiped the floor with whatever was in there. All of our equipment, can we upgrade anything, too? Like, let's go check that as well. There's so much we gotta do to get our characters set up. I wish they would have just let us use our characters that we already had. I don't understand. Most public test realms will just simply make a copy of the online database and just simply let you use your characters that already exists. And it's so much easier than doing this bullcrap. But, I mean, I guess this is what they want to do, so. So, masterworking. I have to temper the item first. According to this, I have to temper the item first. Damage to crowd control, damage to close, damage to distant. Summoning augments, minion attack speed, skeletal mages to attack twice, blood augments, bone augments. I guess we're doing elemental stuff. We've got enough to do a couple augments. And we ended up with Skeletal Priest effect duration, which is probably the worst one we could have ended up with. That's awful. Let's do that again. And we ended up with Skeletal Priest effect duration again. Can we not get Skeletal Priest duration? Hey, we got minion attack speed that time.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, Leon?
What's up? Let's see this camera zoom out. That's the feature I'm most excited for.
It only works outside of town. It's weird. Walk outside of town, bro. I don't know. It's a little bit of an odd choice, in my opinion, by default.
Yeah, it was.
I was taking a look at the new. I don't know. Like the health one is still there, but like the fortification damage reduction one is gone.
Yeah, I don't know about the damage reduction changes. But
we're going back to what we were before, which is like we're just gonna get one shot by everything randomly. That's basically what's gonna happen.
And they added in harder content, so you need more damage reduction. So they took it away, but they gave you content where you need it even more than we had it.
Well, they fixed disobedience at least.
Yeah, I saw that. I checked out like all 3 hours of the patch note video you went over yesterday.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I was just watching it all.
It's terrible. It was like 3 hours. It was like more than 3 hours, wasn't it? It was like 3.5 hours.
It was crazy.
And honestly, I felt like I still didn't go over everything. Dude,
You commented enough on everything.
This tempering system is stupid.
Yeah, it's a Last Epoch system, but I mean, it is. There's no reason to play Last Epoch now.
It's stupid. God, you know how much time I'm gonna have to waste sitting here tempering items just to even get this character set up properly? I don't even know how they expect us to test anything. I've got like nothing. I've got nothing that I need. Like I got none of the aspects that I need. I've got none of the like unique items that I need. I've got nothing. Like I don't understand what they're doing. They didn't even give us enough. You know how many shards they gave you to get gems with? They gave you like 11,000, which is just enough to make one gem. You need 10 gems for your equipment. They gave us enough for one gem.
I was supposed to hit skip or something.
I mean, I basically just did the first initial quest and went to town, and there was a guy sitting next to the waypoint who you talk to, and then he brings you to level 100.
Okay, okay.
Somebody else said you can do multiple characters and skip a bunch of times and get more stuff for each character that you bring to the end, and you can like delete him or something and grab their equipment. I don't know. I mean, that's one way to do it, I suppose, if you want to run the tutorial about 30 times. I'm not sure about the stats being on the gems, especially considering how difficult content is going to be. They've got the Royal Amethyst is now Strength, the Royal Emerald is now Dexterity. The Royal Topaz is now Intelligence, and the Royal Sapphire is now Willpower. But, like, do they expect us to just completely, like, you know, tank our character's defensive capability for a little bit of extra offense? I mean, that's kind of what that looks like to me. Because not only did they put the stats on the armor piece instead of putting it on, like, the weapon, or, you know, I feel like the weapon would have been a better choice. But they threw it on some of the ones that had the defensive stats, like the Royal Sapphire had the defensive stat, was one of the best defensive stats, with you know, with the exception of the Royal Ruby, which was really nice too. But did they beef up the health on the Royal Ruby too? It says 9%. I thought it wasn't. I thought it was like 6 or something.
9% life. That's higher. Yeah, that is higher.
I thought that looks higher. I guess we need to go do some content. I suppose the easiest way to get started in this is probably just to go do anything that gives me whispers, and then go get my first nightmare dungeon, and then start running some nightmare dungeons for some equipment. Yeah, but the point is, John, is that if they're going to let us test things, like, I don't understand why you'd want to make it more difficult to test things than less difficult. Copying the characters from live server is the easiest way to make it less difficult, like, in my opinion. That way everybody has all of the accumulated equipment, gear, and materials that they had on live, essentially, right? So then you can incorporate this system, which is basically auto levels characters, into the original system of copying over your characters, and you end up with a way to test out just about every single combination of everything known to man. What they're doing here, which is forcing you to level up a character basically from scratch, even though they give you level 100, you still have to get your gear set up, you still gotta get your gems, get the right aspects for your equipment, you still gotta do basically everything. I mean, they would have been better off just copying our characters and then also giving us, you know, like, some of the stuff that we needed to test out the new features. It would have been better that way. I've participated in a lot of PTRs, and it's really strange to me for them not to copy the characters. Like, every single game I've ever played that's had like a public test realm, they usually copy the live database to the server. Yep. So that you basically have access to all of your characters and equipment during the beta or the public test realm or whatever's going on, because that's the best way for everybody to test everything. I'm kind of excited for the Frozen Orb Sorceress. The Frozen Orb Sorceress sounds freaking OP. I set up a Frozen Orb Sorceress in one of the seasons. I can't remember which one. Season 2, maybe? It was actually pretty fun.
The Frozen Orb seems really fun. That's a build that seems fun. The Landslide Unique seems fun.
Did you see what they did to Flesh Render and
Yes.
Do you remember my defensive build that I did from that season with Flesh Render and the Landslide?
Even
Can you
better,
imagine
yeah.
copying that new unique ring into the setup, and then they also changed Flesh Render so it works with all defensive skills now instead of just the 2 howls? So basically I can set that character up, and every single time I press one of my defensive skills, I'll be popping the poison thing. And then every single time I pop my Landslide, I also get, what, the spikes? Now, too, that's going to come from the unique item? It sounds like that entire build that I had from before just got, like, exploded into the stratosphere.
That's it. Yep. It's just another good build. The Necro seems like it got some fun things. The Thorns would be insane.
Well, minions inherit 100% of your stats now, which also means they inherit 100% of your thorns. But they also took away thorns on the gems, which was also a little odd. They had to rework all the minions, because you remember half the minions had, like if it was a special thing to, like, inherit more thorns from you than normal. They had to take all that away because all that disappeared when they made it inherit 100% of your stats.
Yeah, basically would have been useless unless they changed it.
Well, right now, I'm literally trying to do stuff, and my minions are literally killing everything before I have a chance to even, like, look at the screen. I'm literally just standing here while they do all the work for me. Am I 1 point short? I think I'm 1 point short. Let's go over to the doesn't really matter where we go. There you go. Slay scorpions. That sounds like fun. Slay scorpions. Oh yeah, I am in T2. You're right. I never did switch because the statue was missing. You just reminded me. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was trying to switch and I couldn't switch because the statue was gone. Did I just accidentally click on my portal and go right back through my portal? Oh my dear Lord Jesus. Yeah, I need to up the world tier. You're right. Let me get this last doojank done real quick, and I'll go and up the world tier, or see if I can. I couldn't find the occultist. I don't know where the occultist is. They also moved the jeweler over by the blacksmith. I don't know where the occultist is. Let me know if you find it.
I need time to do that.
I'm just trying to grab my my first nightmare dungeon thing. Actually, it might not work in this if I do it in World Tier 2. Actually, now that I think about it, let me make sure I can switch. I tried to switch earlier and the statue wasn't there. I don't know why the statue wasn't there, but I'm assuming that I had to leave town, do some things, and come back or something. Yay, it's here. What? Recipe learned. Tier 1 monster. What? 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 In the butt button? You guys said destroy some items so we can get some doojanks. That sounds good. Is the robot spider minion gone for good? I certainly hope not. I hope they bring him back. But he's not in the game anymore, no. Aspect of the grasping veins has been upgraded in the Codex of Power. Aspect of the swelling curse has been upgraded in the Codex of Power.
Not while I'm in town.
So one of the things that I'm really interested in is, did they brick rare items? Like, judging from the patch notes, basically what I got from that was that rare items are basically garbage now. And I need to know. I need to know whether... I need to know.
I mean, the only
whether
question
rare
you have to
items-
answer is you have to grab a rare item, you have to temper and see if you can add 3 or 2, and then you'll know. That's the only way.
If I mean, if you can add 3, then rare items then become suddenly, you know, like they're still competing with legendary items. But I mean, if you can't add 3, if you can only add 2, then rare items have basically become garbage, and you might as well not even pick them up. And we're back to Diablo 3 all over again.
I cannot do
Where literally you would never pick up anything that wasn't a legendary set or unique item. Well, there were no uniques in Diablo 3, but... Oh, an ancestral chest armor right off the bat. Alright, where is this boss at? I'm just trying to get my whispers done real quick so I can actually take this into some, like, mildly challenging content.
I'm out of essence.
So, do your character started at 100 or no?
Did I what?
Your character on this PTR, did it start at 100?
No, you start as a baby and you gotta walk to town and you gotta click on the,
You have to do
There's
all these initial quests?
you gotta do the first quest, like, to get Lorath to the town.
Okay.
And then once you get to the town, there's an NPC literally standing by the waypoint. And he basically offers you the 100 upgrade thing, and then you just take it, and you're all of a sudden you're level 100.
I need more time.
Well, that was interesting. I saw a legendary symbol on the map, but it wasn't a legendary item.
I'm not
It
ready.
was coiling wards. I wonder why they decided to put coiling wards on the map.
I need more time.
It's interesting.
I need more time.
Yeah, there's some jankiness too when you first get to 100. Like, it, I don't know what's going on, but it gives you like a whole bunch of quests, like completion things. Like, it literally gives you like every level completed, like up to a certain level. Like, it flashes on the screen for like 30 minutes, I swear, where it's like, congratulations, level 100, congratulations, level 99, congratulations, level 98, congratulations, level 97, congratulations, 96, and it goes all the way down the list. And some of the stuff doesn't work in town until it finishes, like, you know, actually doing that.
I'm not ready yet.
Alright, there's the boss over there. Let's go kill him to get our 5. Ow, ow, ow. I'm almost dying here. I got none of my gear upgraded.
I'm out of essence.
I mean, I gotta admit that for being completely, like, poorly set up to the point of silliness, like I've got basically no aspects to actually help out this summon Necro. I feel like he's doing pretty darn well for me not having any aspects at all.
Yeah. I mean, just that one change of all the stats being inherited, 100% is crazy.
That means if you have 100% crit rate, your minion has 100% crit rate.
Yep. They said it's everything. Attack speed, everything. Crit, doesn't matter what they're inheriting it.
Alright, so we need another whisper. Let's go over here. I don't know. Let's just get this last whisper done so we can hop into the Dujinks. Well, that's what I'm saying. They wouldn't have to go through all that trouble of, like, giving you all those quests and like, flashing it on the screen 8,000 times if they just copied your character over. Like, I mean, most people have characters that they can test with. You know how much materials I have saved up on the Eternal Realm? Like, you wouldn't have to give me any materials. I've got all the materials in the world saved up. Okay. As soon as we get this whisper done, there we go. Okay, whisper's done. Let's get the hell out of here. We can go turn this in, and we'll get our first nightmare dungeon Dujank. We can go hop into the nightmare dungeons and try something that's actually challenging. God, there's some crazy lag on this public test realm server. Like, I literally will try and go to an area and the whole server will just lag up. Like my character starts moonwalking backwards and doing weird stuff. Alright, so we got our first Nightmare Sigil. It's a level 21. Nothing too fancy. Monster level 75. Let's go run it real quick so that we can test out in a Nightmare Dungeon, and then we'll go... Obviously, we'll keep getting higher and higher Nightmare Dungeons, and we can keep working our way up the list. The Moonwalking Minions? Yeah, Moonwalking Minions, that's right. Oh yeah, I wanted to check and see whether these rare items can be tempered or not. That's more important to me right now than anything. Let's just let's go back to town real quick and let's see if the rare items can be tempered and what number of effects you can add to the rare items. I mean, if it's 3, then all my fears were for nothing, and we're basically still sitting at essentially equivalent items. But if it's only 2, then rare items are essentially useless now, and you have to find legendary bases. How many times have you actually found a legendary item with the right stats that you actually needed? Like, most of the time when I find legendary items, they're garbage. Yeah. They always got the stupidest stats on them. Like, look at this 925 armor. It's only 2. So yeah, well, rare items are basically garbage now. That's unfortunate. I don't know why they would do that. I really don't understand why they would do that, to be perfectly honest. I mean, that basically relegates all rare items in the game. Every single rare item that you ever find at this point, you might as well not even pick them up except for to destroy them for resources. That's pretty much the only thing rare items are good for now, is trash, 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 trash. That's what rare items are good for. Oh, and transmogs. You can get transmogs from them. But basically how they have this set up now with the two aspects on the rare items is they've basically just completely diluted the entire like item database to now the only things that matter. The only things that will ever matter are legendary items, unique items, and uber uniques, and that's it. And even then, legendary items won't matter to a point either, because you'll be looking for legendary items that roll with greater affixes. So
Come back if you need work.
They should just say whether it's part of like a plan for runes and just let us know now, because yeah, that's an awful thing to make rares not matter.
Well, they've basically just made it extremely difficult to ever get a perfect item. I mean, you think about how many rare items that we would find on a regular basis and how many rare items would be garbage, right? And then you would filter through thousands of rare items to eventually pull out one rare item that was worth using, right? And you would filter through thousands of legendary items and almost never come across a legendary item that was actually worth using. And the only way you ever really found anything that was worth using was to go through the rares one by one, checking every single rare to make sure that they were, you know, like had the right stats, and then imbuing that rare with a legendary affix. And they basically now made it so that you're not even going to look through the rares anymore, because the rares are useless. And on top of that, the legendaries almost never rolled perfect. So good luck actually finding a legendary that actually rolls perfect. Hey, at least your inventory won't be clogged with all those rare items that you save for other characters. Also, you won't be saving anything for other characters anyway, because they basically made all items roll with your main stat now, just like in Diablo 3. So when you find those sick, you know, gloves on your necromancer, they're always going to have intelligence on them no matter what. You're not going to find a strength pair that you can give to your barbarian. What makes that change even crazier is, you know, you can't re-roll the greater affixes, right? So you know how, like, obviously on the regular equipment, you could go to the occultist and you could re-roll affixes to whatever you wanted. So, like,
They're not greater anymore. Yep.
Yeah.
If you re-roll them.
So if you re-roll the stat affix to something else, it won't be a greater stat affix anymore. It'll be a regular stat affix, which basically makes it even more difficult to share items in between your characters now. I don't know how they can simultaneously open up trading to allow you to trade uniques and you know, uniques and legendaries, but then at the same time, like, diminish the entire marketplace by destroying rares, and then also stat capping everything to the class's stat, so that literally you can't trade half the items because they're all going to be stat locked to that particular class. I know there's some people that, like, only play one class and that's all they play. Like, they never play another class. They're like, I only play rogue. Like, you don't try any other classes? No, I only play rogue. How many characters do you have? 7? Are they all rogues? Yes, they're all rogues. I have 7 rogues. Like, you know, like, yeah, there's those guys. But then there's the rest of us that actually play, like, all the characters and have fun with the different classes. And we'd like to be able to share equipment between our classes. This is like a baby nightmare dungeon. I need to get some higher tier nightmare dungeons in here. I don't know why it started me off with a 21. I get this thing completed so I can move on to a higher tier. Have I found any? I haven't found any the entire time I've been running. I was thinking I could just destroy some. Maybe they gave me some dust. I don't know. Maybe they gave me some dust and I just stupid. I didn't check. Let's see here. Sigil powder. Where's the sigil powder at? They gave me 1,390 sigil powder. Let me go kill the boss real quick. Since I'm already here. Oh, that little 75 boss got absolutely demolished out of existence. Alright, let's go craft one up. Actually, I don't know where the occultist is. I need to find the occultist. I really don't like this rare items being useless thing. Like, I really don't. I mean, it's one thing. It's one thing to want us to use the legendary items, which is perfectly fine, and they've achieved that with the greater affixes, because when an item drops with greater affixes, you're going to look at it and you're going to pay attention to it because it's going to be a rare thing that's going to happen. So when a legendary item drops with greater affixes, you're going to want to use that as well. But the thing is that, like, by taking away the rares completely, like, why even have the rares drop anymore? Like, what's the point of even having the rares drop if they're just going to be dramatically inferior to every single item that you could potentially get from the upper tier? So, like, they basically set it up so that there's no reason to ever use them.
Yep, it's just like the blue and white items in this game. There's like no reason to ever use this.
And so why even have them in the game?
Yep.
Like why even have them drop at all? Like, what's the point to it at all? I mean, they basically went through the process of simplifying things to make it so that, you know, like, there was less affixes and that the affixes were more useful and all this other stuff to kind of simplify the loot drops. But then now they've made it so that they just reversed it by making the rares useless. I don't get it. I mean, we basically went full 180. Because, like, in, you know, previous to this patch, legendary items were basically garbage that nobody really wanted. And rares were the king. And now this patch literally flips things 180. And now legendary items are literally the king. And rare items are garbage that nobody wants. So they basically just flipped it around on its head.
Come back if you need work.
Alright, where the hell is the occultist? I don't even know where the occultist is. Sigil
Found her yet.
Sigil crafting. Speak to Demian.
Yeah, he's like by the health guy, but you can't even salvage the gear they gave us or the aspects. Trying to see how you break down the extra items.
Oh, you can just destroy them for the aspects.
We just destroyed them now?
Yeah, you just destroy them and they give you the aspects and they upgrade the codex of power. Okay, so what can we craft? I don't know exactly what we're capable of, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I don't want to go too. I don't want to craft one that's too high because I'll run out of sigil dust if I can't complete it. Let's start with a, I don't know, like a 51 to 60 first, and then we'll go from there. That's level 110 monsters, and then we'll pick up the pace from there and see how far we can end up. Okay, well, this is easy enough. I don't know. I feel like if they just gave rare items 3 aspects, it would balance things out. It would make the rare items still useful. They might not necessarily be, like, best in slot or anything, but at least they wouldn't be completely useless. I'm also unsure about this category thing that seems to be occurring. Apparently there's like a... Like, every item seems to have, like, categories that it's capable of being tempered into. And they're not all capable of being tempered into all categories. So when you pick up an item, it could potentially have the right stats, but not be the right categories? There's 6 categories on the list, and most of the time when you put an item up there, you can only pull from 2 categories.
Yeah, because you're only allowed like one of each or something. Like you can't have 2 resource on a weapon, for example, I think is how it is.
I mean, is it whatever category is already on the item?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what limits it. Every weapon I put in just as weapons offensive. Unless that's all they gave me.
Yeah, this character's so weak. I'm glad I'm playing a necromancer because this guy can't stand nothing. I'm literally like, I gotta run away just to like survive 2 seconds.
Keep getting whirlwind size. I guess I gotta try whirlwind.
I mean, you're not wrong. The game has basically become Diablo 3. They added greater rifts. They disabled rare items from being useful, which is exactly like Diablo 3. I mean, in Diablo 3, nothing was useful except for legendary items and set items. And in Diablo 4 now, nothing is useful except for legendary items and unique items. No, I knew I was dying. I got stuck somehow. I was trying to move and it wouldn't let me move. And I'm like, why won't it let me move? I'm literally just trying to move forward, and it wouldn't let me move forward. And I was standing in the puddle as it was about to explode, and I'm like, well, I give up. I'm guessing I was standing too close to a monster at the moment, like, so decompose was triggering as opposed to letting me move forward or something like that. That's why basically just got stuck. Because for some reason, channel skills are sticky. I'm not sure if you guys have ever noticed this before, but when you use channeling skills, they have like a stickiness to them where like they will start channeling and then they get stuck channeling the monster, and then you can't unchannel the monster because it's like a sticky effect or something. I don't really know how to explain it other than that. Diablo 3, because Diablo 3 didn't have any trading at all. At least we can trade now. I just wish they hadn't added in that stupid stat bullcrap. I didn't like it in Diablo 3, and I don't like it and I'm not going to like it in this game either. Like, I don't want every single item that I find to only roll with my main stat. It's stupid. Like, it belies the fact that I play other characters. Like, it completely ruins sharing equipment between different characters. Alright, I need to get better equipment, and I guess I'm gonna have to sit there and gamble stuff because I can't even survive this doojank. I'm not even gonna try and go forward from here. We need to get better equipment. God, the freaking PTR is so laggy.
What do you need?
Okay, we need some aspects to actually make this character work, and we don't have any of the aspects that we need. I mean, I'm basically just using the random equipment that they gave me, which is pretty useless. One thing we can do is we could go gamble for aspects. Did they move the Purveyor of Curiosities again, or is he still over here? Yes, they moved the Purveyor of Curiosities again. So where did they put him? Him? Lisbeth? Yeah, they moved him again. What are we in a supermarket now where they're just going to keep moving around everything all the time? Like, I understand that some people might complain about the placement of stuff, but like, move it once and don't move it again. Like, stop moving it. Don't move it 18 times. Nobody wants you to move around all the NPCs in every single town like 18 different times. Just move them somewhere convenient and keep them there, and don't move them again. All right. Once we learn where they are, we know where they are, and even if they were in an inconvenient place, at least we knew where they were. And you moving them around all the time is just making it more confusing. All right, I'm just gonna destroy all these. Add these to the codex.
They didn't even give us enough field crystals to craft our gear. What is it?
They're not, I swear they don't play the game. Why wouldn't they just max us out? Like, I don't understand. Why wouldn't they just max us out on the crafting stuff so that we can test out the systems? Why would they? I mean, I guess they want us to do the content and go get the crystals, or the scattered prisms and all the other bull crap, but at the same time, I'm gonna fight you.
Fair bit of magic in that.
God, it's so laggy. Alright, so let's go ahead and get rid of all the rares and get rid of all the blues because we know that they're garbage. And anything that's not ancestral is also garbage, so we can just take all the ancestral stuff and put it over here. And we can take the sacred stuff and we can just go ahead and destroy it.
I'll tell you this. Some of those new things they added, like this, for example, whirlwind area or size, you can feel it. Like it's way like it's way more bigger. Like,
Oh yeah, you can feel it.
you can feel it.
You can feel it. You can.
It's massive.
Can really feel the massiveness of it.
Yep. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, you poor unfortunate soul.
I never understood why legendaries even exist. I feel like the aspect should have just dropped and not even legendaries.
Yeah, I feel like that would have been the better change. Just make it so that the rare items exist, and you just find the aspects. And I think that would have been a better way to go about it entirely. I feel like I'm over here trying to build a character from scratch, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like I gotta put in a whole lot of work to do this. Somebody said you can just make a new character and it skips the tutorial. The second character that you make skips the tutorial, and then you can just like click on the thing, get your level 100, use your obols really quickly to like gamble for some aspects, and then once you gamble for some aspects, you just like delete the character and like do it again or whatever. I don't know. It sounds like a plan. Because my character currently is so bad that I think I need to.
But just gamble and try to get some veiled crystals, like try to get consumes.
Basically, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and make another necromancer so I can... God, why is the game so laggy? Like, everything is laggy. The whole freaking, like, just even loading, like, regular animations and stuff is laggy. Okay, so we can do skip campaign now. Just gonna name him Gamble. I'm not even gonna bother looking at the items. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna boost. I'm gonna take the gear, I'm gonna destroy it. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna gamble a bunch of stuff just so I can get the aspects. Alright, let's this time let's gamble focuses. Let's go ahead and destroy it all. Everything.
My cursor color picker not working. Let me try.
Yeah, I had to go through the process of doing like everything. You gotta go change the settings, like put the max background FPS back up so I can click off the screen on Discord without my game looking like garbage. Like tons of different things that I had to play around with.
Try again.
What will it be?
Alright, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get the aspects. I'm just gonna go ahead and delete this guy. We're just gonna remake him. We're just gonna do this over and over again so we can get a bunch of stuff for our characters. I don't know why they would make us go through all this stupid stuff, but whatever. Can't put numbers, huh? I was only doing like a level 50 some odd nightmare dungeon and my character felt so weak.
I could imagine.
Like, oh my god, I felt like I died a couple times. God, what is with this frame rate? Like, holy Jesus. This isn't the stream lagging, guys. This is the game. This is literally what the game looks like right now. Look at that. That beautiful, like, one frame that I'm getting right now. I think it might be two. You know what? I'm sorry. I almost, you know, made it seem like the game was worse than what it was. My bad. I think it's 2 frames. I'm pretty sure it's 2.
What will it be?
Oh yeah, look at those juicy 2 frames, boys. I know you guys are jealous of my juicy 2 frames. Don't even pretend like you're not jealous of my juicy 2 frames. That is the most juiciest 2 frames I've ever seen in my life, and you know it. Beautiful. Beautiful 2 frames. Who needs frames, okay? Frames are for people who are spoiled. Spoiled, rotten frame users. Like, you high frame people are just bougie. That's all it is. You guys are just bougie with your high frames. Us real gamers play at 2 frames. 2 FPS. That's where the real story lies. We feel sad for those 1 FPSers. And nobody talks about the 0 FPSers. Those are we don't talk about them. I got 4 FPS there for a second. Oh, 28. Went back down to 5. Oh, back down to 5. Alright, let's do some, would amulets be the best thing to gamble, just to get all aspects, since all aspects can go on amulets? Like, would that be, like, the best thing for just
Are
trying
you missing
to
any
get,
aspect in your codex?
well, I'm trying to get, like, upgraded versions of all the aspects, as well
Well,
as
yeah.
materials to put it on the actual items.
Materials is the problem for me, yeah.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
So I'm basically just destroying. I'm basically logging into a character, destroying everything on the character, putting it into the the main storage so I have tons of resources, and then I'm just deleting the character and I'm just doing it again. God, it's so laggy. Let me out of here. I just want to leave. I just want to leave. Oh God, please, please let me out. Let me out. Let me out. That was rough. It's still lagging in the freaking, like, the menu. Like, I'm just, like, the character menu is lagging.
Yeah, I really wish I could have just copied my character from the season over, and I could just test my build that I was playing.
Yes.
Just,
Why couldn't we do that? Why is that not? Why couldn't they just copy over the characters?
to do this whole Paragon board and everything.
Oh my god, I already did that. It took me a while to set up the Necromancer's Paragon board, and I gotta do it again for the other characters. I think my game crashed. Diablo 4 has run out of memory, and the application needs to exit. This is likely caused by using graphic settings that exceed your machine's capability. What? 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 What's my memory at right now? Let's see. Performance. I currently have 12.1 gigabytes used out of 31.9 gigabytes used. I currently have 19.9 gigabytes available. Was it really using up 19.9 gigabytes of available memory? Or is it just BSing me? 19.9 is a lot of gigabytes. That's more than most people have in their computer. Most people only have 16 gigs. That's like the current recommended value is 16. If it was using up 19.9 gigabytes of RAM, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm currently down to 16.1, 15.8. It is dropping fast. 15.2 available, 14.5 available. Okay. Let's make another character. Gotta be some sort of memory leak issue. What's with the Goth Romancer? Let's make the Goth Romancer. Look, it's the Goth Romancer, guys. Let's see. 14.5. Let's see what it goes to when it gets into the game. It's 13.7 available. 13.6. We still got 13 gigabytes left. I don't know where my 13 gigabytes, 13.6 gigabytes of RAM disappeared to, but apparently. I wonder if it's this process of boosting you to level 100, which is somehow taking up all of the memory. No, still 13.3 gigabytes. I don't know. Alright, let's just do, I don't know, tunics. I'm just trying to make sure I've got, like, all the aspects and in good condition, as well as the materials that I need.
Salvage that.
I'm just gonna go ahead and keep salvaging everything. I'm gonna do a full customization of my character as soon as I get everything set up.
It seems your prayers have been answered.
Well, not only am I getting some of the materials, they're also giving me like more materials and like sigil powder and stuff every single time I do this too. So I'm basically building up my resources. Like they're giving me 10k gem fragments every single time. I'm getting the like the sigil powder every single time. They're giving me all the equipment, which I'm destroying. So I'm basically just stocking up on stuff that I need to actually make these characters work. Beard scratch. Man, I ain't got enough time to test this stuff. I gotta go to work tonight. It's gonna be a long shift too.
Oh yeah.
What will it be?
It would have been so much easier if they let me test this on my characters. Okay, let's do.
Oh my.
Wow. Wow.
I just hit refund all of my Paragon board backs.
Oh, you poor baby.
Here we go.
It seems your prayers. It seems very nice. It seems your prayers.
Welcome to the jungle. We got lots of memes. Come on down and we'll give you all of the schemes. In the jungle.
Salvaged.
Alright, let's see if I've got enough stuff now to actually make my character work properly. Singing GGM. I'm going back to sleep. Have you figured out where the occultist is yet? Oh no, is that the occultist?
Yeah, it's someone that you were saying before, a demon or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I mean it this time.
Yeah, everything in the aspect, the codex is like tier 1 except for like the stuff I've been destroying. Okay. So on the amulet, I want the okay, well that's not helpful. Is it not on there? Offensive? It's the offensive one I want. That's right. Okay. Everything's organized weird. They literally changed the entire game. Well, I don't know. I'm kind of concerned with the fact that they keep changing the entire game. How many games have you played over your lifetime where literally like the entire game changes to the point where when you log in, it's not even like the same game anymore? But they don't just do it like once. They've done it like twice now for Diablo. They're like, oh, let's just completely rework everything so that people log in and have no clue what's going on. It's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, let me get my boot aspect first. That's a good idea. So I can get my little minions in there. Can I get like the mages on there or something? I can't remember. Yeah, I can get the increased skeletal mages, so we want that. They broke my crowded sage aspect, and I hate them for it.
It's so weird.
I don't understand why they did that. Some of the changes they made were just unnecessary. They were unnecessary.
Yeah, the one that stuck out the most was when you were going over the frost node. And it's like, who wants a dodge when everything's frozen?
Yeah, it just didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, oh, so wait a minute. So you're telling me that I can? Okay, so when everything's frozen, if I dodge, then but they're all frozen. Like when? Who are they hitting exactly? I don't know who they're hitting. They're not hitting me.
Yep. And I don't think storks want to build dodge.
No, and that's why I don't understand. Like, I feel like that aspect that change was specifically for the rogue, because the rogue is the only one who's really going to take advantage of that, and it's really good for the rogue. Like, don't get me wrong, it's really good for the rogue, but it's used to be really good for everybody, and now it's only really good for the rogue. What utilities can I put on here? This Apothic affix is kind of interesting. Skeletal priests empower your skeletal warriors to deal shadow damage. You can basically convert your skeletal warriors into shadow damage dealers, which is pretty cool. I don't know how well that would actually work, but... This Bloodgetters aspect sounds kind of interesting. It's basically every single time you use the skeletal priests, it applies the heal to you, which sounds kind of OP, to be honest. Let me give that a try.
That's a good omen.
See if we can get this guy set up so he can actually dish out some damage. Some damage. And we can get some gems too now that I sucked a bunch of gem materials from the other characters. I kind of want to try out the decompose stuff too. Let's go ahead and throw the rotting aspect on here so I can get that. Alright. Now I just have to add aspects to all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of my items. And I have to add 2 aspects to each item, which is a total of 20 aspects. And I have to continually rotate them to see if I can get the ones that I want, or sorry, affixes on each item. And, yeah, okay. And then finally we'll be set up properly. I don't have any scattered prisms, so I can't add sockets to my weapon. Okay, well, I guess I'm not doing that then. Let's go ahead and do rubies so I don't die. 2, 3, let's just do 4, 5 of those so I can actually survive a little bit. Break my HP up. And then resistances. I need resistances. So I need 1 fire. 1 cold. And 1 poison. Alright, and that still leaves me with enough for a couple gems. Let's go ahead and grab 1 for you. And now we get to go temper, boys. Let's go temper. Not really excited about the tempering. It seems awkwardly long and silly. Also, some of the mods are nice and some of the mods are stupid. Like, chance for skeleton mages to attack twice is nice, and minion attack speed bonus is definitely nice. But, like, the skeletal mage healing bonus is not something I'm really interested in. Alright, hold on, I gotta do both. No, I don't want damage to distance enemies. Reroll. Yeah, they fixed resistances a while ago. Dude, it rolling the same exact thing twice or 3 times in a row on the tempering when you only have like 5 attempts has got to be the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like, it literally rolled the same exact thing 2 times in a row here. I don't want damage to crowd controlled enemies either. And now I just rolled back to distant. The options are damage, damage to crowd control, damage to close, and damage to distant. And it's rolled damage to distant 3 times, and damage to crowd control once. Damage to crowd control again. And now I am out of durability on the item. Yes, I'm out of durability on the item, so I can no longer reroll it. So it's been bricked, basically, because I don't want damage to crowd-controlled enemies. %16 chance for mages to attack twice. I'll take it. Damage bonus. Nice. Ring. Offensive category.
See, I think tempering would have been cooler if it was the old system, but instead of re-rolling, like, tempering was the reroll. And so you have some kind of direction of what you're re-rolling to. But the whole fact that, like, every item you get has to be tempered twice, and it's just like every item, it's a whole game is doing that, is kind of like, why? Like, crafting should be interesting, crafting should be deep, but every item has to be crafted on?
Well, I've said it before, and I don't know why people like the last epoch system in the first place. The forging system is stupid. I don't want to sit there and forge every single item that I have and spend multiple days trying to find like the perfect piece of equipment and like literally like I've got, you know, like 14 or 15 pieces of equipment on and I've got to temper every single item. Like I don't want to have to do that. It's a whole lot of work for no reason. Like you guys are seeing it right now. Like I'm literally setting up a character and I've got to sit here and I've got to temper each one of these items. And you might be asking, well, like, do you have to temper the items? And the answer is yes. I'm missing 2 affixes on every single piece of equipment. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's 20 affixes that are missing from my character. How in the world can I ever test it properly if I don't put the 20 affixes on my character? When will I test PvP? I really don't think there's going to be a lot of people on PvP right now, D's keys.
We don't even have builds. If you like, I'm just trying to create a build that I want to play. I'm not gonna go PvP with the build I don't even want to play.
And I'm not, you know, I'm not going to sit here and keep re-rolling these until I get something that's good. Like I feel like every single time I'm getting something bad. And then I'm having to re-roll it like 3 or 4 times. I've already bricked out 2 items from being able to get the mods that I wanted. I keep getting damage to close over and over and over again. I just bricked out like... I mean, it basically... And I don't understand why it keeps re-rolling the same thing like multiple times. Like, what the hell is this? Like, every single time I'm re-rolling the item, it's getting the same exact thing. Like, I literally re-rolled one item, and it got the crowd control damage, like, every single time until it bricked itself. It literally got the same exact roll over and over and over again. Alright, let's see here.
Should be mathematically impossible, basically.
I'm assuming that's a greater affix that's all shiny there on the item. I guess I got a couple items that had greater affixes on them and I didn't realize it. They got like a little shiny star next to the doojank. See right there, it says 21% health healing received, has a little shiny star next to it. Okay, so this is an amulet, and what I really need is the skills. Where's the skills at? Don't tell me they took away all the passives. That was like half the fun of the amulets. Or am I just going to have to re-roll it? Okay, well there's a couple of the passives. There's resistances. There's like 1 passive on here. I don't really know. I guess let's go for some movement speed. Evade cooldown reduction. Yeah, that's what I really wanted. Hey, movement speed. Alright, let's go with a different category now. Dude, I'm damage to distant enemies again. Why didn't they remove damage to distant enemies? I hate that freaking modifier. I think it's one of the worst modifiers in the freaking game. And now I'm just seeing it everywhere. Hey, damage to distant enemies again. What do you know? Would this one be also damage to distant enemies, you guys think? Hey, I got damage to close enemies this time, which is at least better than damage to distant enemies, but still not what I wanted. Hey, we finally got it, right before we bricked the item. Alright. Next in a long list of doojanks. Ugh. 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 I just put the helmet up there to add affixes to the helmet. You know what options I have? I have resistances, and I have utility, which is corpse explosion size, corpse tendril size, Iron Maiden size, decrepify size, and curse duration. Like, none of these are... I mean, if I was a corpse explosion necromancer, yes, corpse explosion size sounds interesting. But other than that, like, pretty much everything on the list sounds like garbage to me. And then the resistances, what if I didn't want resistances? What if I wanted cooldown reduction? What if I wanted anything else besides resistances? These are terrible. Both of these are terrible. I don't want either of them.
Yeah, they didn't give us enough options with the... Like, we have the same thing for utility on all our items. It's...
I mean, let me hope for one crappy thing over another crappy thing, I guess. Oh, curse duration. Oh, there we go. That's certainly useful. We're just exploring the systems. I guess. Giving feedback. I don't know what kind of feedback I can give so far, other than I don't like the tempering system. Why did you make rare items useless? I don't want... It keeps re-rolling the same thing over and over again. Like, there's some sort of bug in the system in the way that it works. Because you'll literally get shadow resistance, and then re-roll it, and it'll go right back to shadow resistance. And then you re-roll it, and it goes right back to shadow resistance. And then you re-roll it, and it goes right back to shadow resistance. Like, there's got to be something wrong with the system for it to re-roll the same thing 4 times in a row. Especially when you only have a certain number of re-rolls in the first place. It's the same garbage for both the armor and the helmet. All of the defensive equipment has the worst frickin' stats. Yay, shadow resistance again. It's almost like it just keeps feeding me shadow resistance when I don't want it. Hey, we got fire this time. Hey, look, the same crappy mods that we didn't want the first time, and we get to double up the crappy mods on our armor. Oh, look, corpse tendril size. We don't want that because we're not using corpse tendrils. Iron Maiden size. Why would you have... Why have Iron Maiden size and Decrepify size? Why not have Curse size? Why separate them out into 2 different categories? And I'm glad they did a PTR. I'm gonna write up a 8,000 page essay on this jank. Hey, look, corpse explosion size. I'm gonna break this item. Oh, look, corpse tendril size. Yep, bricked. So that item's been bricked. Hey, we got damage on the first try. Oh, look at that. Back to those horrible utility aspects. This tempering system is terrible. Like, who was the one who limited it like this? And then on top of that, who was the one that put these as the option for, like, the utility things? Like, why? You know, corpse explosion size, while it does sound interesting, it is relatively meaningless in the grand scheme of things, because all it does is increase the size of your corpse explosion, not the damage. Which means that if you're not doing good damage, then you're still not doing good damage once they add in corpse explosion size. Corpse Tendril size honestly sounds mildly useful because it pulls in more monsters, and Iron Maiden size, Decrepify size, and Curse Duration all seem pretty much useless. So out of the 5 on this tree, there is possibly 1 or 2 that could be useful, but for the most part, they're mostly useless. It's really frickin' jankety. Iron Maiden size again. Yay! Let's brick this item too. Why not? Let's just brick them all. Let's just keep on rolling until everything's bricked. Corpse explosion size. Woo! Hey, curse duration. Woo! That's exactly what I always wanted. Let's re-roll the next one for the bad stats. Hey, look, it's the same bad stats that we were re-rolling for on the gloves, and the same bad stats that we re-rolled for on the armor, and the same bad stats that we re-rolled for on the helmet, and the same bad stats that we re-rolled for on the amulet, and the same bad stats that we re-rolled for on the boots. What innovation! Decrepify size. Woo! I'm going to leave it. You know why? Because I'm actually using Decrepify.
Yeah, I may test this later, but I don't have time now to try to create 10 characters just to get enough Veil Crystals to create a build.
I'm just trying to set up one character. Like, it's... Mobility cooldown reduction. Mobility cooldown reduction. Evade cooldown reduction. Is that not the same thing as mobility cooldown reduction? Are they really two separate things? %16 evade cooldown reduction. %8 mobility cooldown reduction. Can we get a movement speed, please? Y'all gonna make me roll for movement speed. Hey, we finally got movement speed, and we bricked the item in the process. Alright, let's go over to the occultist, and let's spend some time re-rolling our item, too. Am I the only one that just feels like this is just needlessly complicated for no reason? Like, does everybody else really, like, enjoy the idea of sitting here in town for hours at a time? Like, re-rolling every single piece of equipment multiple times? Like, because, I mean, it basically feels like what I'm doing now is I've spent... Whereas before, I would have spent a large amount of time out in the field testing out stuff. As of right now, I'm basically just spending, I don't know, what is it, like an hour and a half so far? Pretty much just in town trying to get my character set up. Ba 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 baran ba 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 baran Barbaran, won't you take my hand? Oh, Papa Ann, won't you take my plan? Just a rockin' and a reelin', rockin' and a reelin', Barbaran. Hey, look, more intelligence. Sure, let's just stack on as much intelligence as possible. Let's just be really intelligent. Okay, so this is a greater affix from what I can tell, the one that's got the little shiny star on it. And supposedly if you re-roll a greater affix, it deletes it as a greater affix, and it turns it into a non-greater affix. Alright, are we somewhat ready? No, we're not ready yet, because now we need to go to the Master Worker now that we're finished with all this. So we're going to go over to the Master Worker, and we're going to masterwork our items. And we don't have the Obducite to be able to masterwork our items. Obducite is only obtained through the pit.
Come back if you need work.
So to be able to upgrade our items in any way, we're going to have to go into the pit. Where the hell is the pit? I don't know where the pit is. Where's the Nephilim obelisk? Y'all think I'm joking. There's like straight up a Nephilim obelisk. They showed it on the stream. It literally is the Nephilim obelisk from frickin' Diablo 3. It's the dumbest stuff I've ever seen. How do we get to the pit? Let's go search this up. It's in Act 1, yeah? Oh, okay. It's in Act 1, I didn't know. It's good to know. How do I get to Act 1? 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 The pit. Okay, so according to this, I have to complete a tier 46 or higher nightmare dungeon before I'm allowed to enter the pit. That's basically what it says. So I'm going to have to go complete a tier 46 dungeon first before I can compete in the pit. Let's go ahead and grab this potion and drink that. And let's just go ahead and I'm not even going to craft one that's like too high because I died last time while I was trying to do one that was too high. So let's just go ahead and do this one. We gotta complete this dungeon first before we can go into the greater rifts. I mean, returning to Diablo 2 would make some sort of assumption that I had left Diablo 2. I've never quit playing Diablo 2. Y'all are just silly.
I'm low on essence. I lack the required essence.
Slay the resurrected guards. Well, now that I actually have some damage reduction and my resistances aren't garbage and my character is mildly set up,
I lack the required essence.
I don't know what's going on, but there's something weird and I can't put my finger on it. It's like got 27,000 HP over here. Stand in the poison and take it. We're gonna take it. Wait, where's the pedestal? I don't even know. Is that the pedestal, or is that another bloodstone?
I'm not ready.
Well, I mean, this tier of dungeon is actually surprisingly easy. But this is only level 100, so...
I'm low on essence.
Decompose seems really interesting, Leon. Not sure if you're still there. They basically gave it like these little explosions. It's kind of neat. Like basically the longer you channel, the more explosions happen. I was kind of playing around with it right now. Hey, a ring. Ring of the Sacrilegious. Look at that. We got a Ring of the Sacrilegious, boys. Boys. You know, let's go ahead and put it on. Why not?
I'm out of essence.
Oh, well, you died really fast. That was surprising. Okay, so we did it. We got higher than a tier 46, right? So that means we get our crystal. Did we get our pit crystal or whatever the frig it is? Our wiener crystal. Crystal of wienerness. You heard me. I said wiener crystal. Wiener crystal. Crystal of wieners. Wiener crystals. Do you like your wiener crystals? I got lots of wiener crystals. Wait, where? No, wait. Actually, I don't have lots of wiener crystals. I need more wiener crystals. I need an exceedingly high number. Alright, let's just go ahead and destroy all these items. I don't really care. Oh, why am I looking through the items? I don't really care. Hey, look, I got some aspect upgrades. Woo! Where's my crystal? It said I get a crystal and I can go to the pit. That's what it said. Where's my crystal thing? Is there a category for rune shard on my character panel? Bundled herbs. 150 rune shards. There they are. Okay, so where do I go? In Saragar. Okay. Obelisk in Saragar. So let's go to Saragar. Let's go do our greater rifts, boys. Winter? You never heard of a winter before? A winter. That's a winter. Oh look, it's literally the statue from Diablo 3. They couldn't even be creative with it. Oh look, it's literally the portal from Diablo 3. They couldn't even be creative with it. We're playing Diablo 3, guys. I should just edit this. Instead of it saying Diablo 4, I should just cross out Diablo 4 and just put in Diablo 3, because we're basically playing Diablo 3 now. Oh, he walled me in. Beautiful.
I'm not ready yet. I need more essence.
Oh yay, greater rifts. Look, I got a timer on the screen, guys. Hey look, nothing drops any items, guys. You know why? Because we're in a greater rift. And in greater rifts, the monsters don't drop equipment. That's not how this works.
I need more time.
You guys should know better. You don't get equipment in greater rifts, okay? You only get equipment if you complete the rift. Alright, you only get equipment if you complete the rift, and if you don't complete the rift, you don't get equipment. That's how greater rifts work.
I need more time.
I'm not really sure why they think this recycled content is even remotely exciting.
I'm out of essence.
Yay, I'm racing to the end, guys. I'm racing. I'm racing to the end. I'm racing to the end, guys. Guys, I'm racing.
I need more time.
Wait till I get to the higher greater rifts where I get one shot all the time. Choron's demise. Oh, yep, that's greater rift before you right there. Greater rifts would always teleport you in between different zones. So you would go from one zone to a completely different zone through the greater rift teleport. Yep, well, this is okay, okay. Exactly like greater rifts then. Not even any slight variation. So exactly like greater rifts then. You're not rich, Joy? You lied to me? You told me you were rich. That's the only reason I let you into the kinship, Joy. I thought you were rich. Is the Rift champion, is the Greater Rift Guardian going to spawn on top of my head when I complete the thing, or do I have to actually find him?
I'm not ready yet.
Yes, it literally spawned on top of my head. Okay. What's up, Chief Marauder? I hear you like mudkips. Yay, we did it. Yay, we did it. We did it. We did it, guys. We did it. Yeah, we did it. We did it. Greater Rift's complete. Wait, no, no. Greater Rifts are never complete. You have to keep going forever. That's how Greater Rifts work. You just keep going. Forever.
Oh, finished, are you?
Forever.
That cannot be
And ever.
salvaged.
Only rare and legendary items can be tempered. Can we masterwork it? Why does it show it as a magic ring? The hell? God, you need 10 Obdusite to upgrade something one time? Lord, they want you to freaking grind the crap out of this thing, don't they? They want you to grind the crap out of this thing. That's like the whole goal in life, is to make you grind the crap out of this thing. We're in tier 4 now, boys. Tier 4 pit. Let's go. Come on down to the pit, my friends, and it's on bank time. Come down to eat. Don't make me eat. Don't make me eat.
I lack the required essence. I'm not ready yet.
I have no sound. Twitch is having issues with sound. I don't know what to tell it, Twitch. Come on over to YouTube. Well, my minions are absolutely wrecking, but I mean, I haven't really got to any challenging content. These are only level 103 monsters, so... I mean, of course they're wrecking here with level 103 monsters. Why does it feel like these freaking dungeons are really short too? Like, they're not just like timed. They feel really short, like a lot shorter than 10-minute dungeons. I think I completed that last one in what, like 2 minutes. Why are there so many gooshy, squishy noises going on? Like, what the hell is that? It sounds like somebody's playing with a bucket of slime. Am I just, like, imagining that? Just keep doing these, see if we can get to a tier that was actually difficult so we can figure out whether our character is, like, where the deficiencies in our character lies. The Guardian awaits. Oh, well, you got wrecked, didn't you? Hey, look, some more obvious. Obfuscite. I guess let me masterwork my weapon, if I can. Rank 1, a success, 100% chance. All affixes increased by 5%. Woo, look at my Royal Bone Blade, guys. Amazing, isn't it? Item power 1. Okay, I mean, have you seen an item power higher than that? No, because item power 1 is the highest. 1 is the greatest, okay? 1, as in the best, right? So you're obviously the best. That's right, you're number 1, all right? And then on top of that, I've got a massive 15 to 23 damage. You can't beat that. 1.10 attacks per second, fast attack speed. It's you can't get faster than that. 1.5% critical strike damage. You're not getting more critical strike damage than that. Look at my Royal Bone Blade, boys. Yeah, buddy.
Use it well.
Hey, look, tier 7. Let's go. Hey, look, let's do our greater rifts. Come on, guys, we gotta do our greater rifts. I'm totally messing with you guys now. Hold on, I want to see if I can find another one. Oh, I can't find anything. This is terrible. It's terrible. You guys are lucky. I was going to place a whole bunch of meme sound effects. But I can't find any meme sound effects. You know why? Because nobody likes Diablo 3. That's why. Otherwise, they'd be on here. Can I stop yelling into the hot microphone? I don't know. Maybe. I'll think about it, Nick.
I need more time. And lack the required essence.
Oh no, I'm behind.
I need more time.
I'm gonna get my booty cheeks in gear so I can get my doojanks. Need all of my doojanks. All of my janks. All of my doojanks. My jank-a-lanks.
I'm not ready yet.
It's creators like me that have pushed them towards this. Could you please explain yourself, John? Because you're on the border of getting banned. And I don't ban anybody anymore these days, but I feel like that comment was directly just pointed towards me as if somehow I caused them to go back toward Diablo 3. Which, if you really think that, you might want to just hit the unsubscribe button and never come onto my channel again. Like, I feel like that comment is probably the most negative comment I've ever gotten, and I've gotten some pretty negative comments over the years. That's a level of comment that I'm just not going to put up with, John. I don't care if you've watched every single one of my videos, you like and you comment, and you subscribed, and maybe even you donated some money. Comments like that are not warranted and they're not welcome.
I'm not ready yet.
If you really think that I have ever wanted anything for this game other than the best, then you're on the wrong channel, and you obviously haven't been paying attention to anything that I've said the entire time I've been streaming. No, no, John, there's no backpedaling now. You said creators like him, and you meant me.
There are no creators like Ginger.
Your comment was directly pointed at me. I'm over here mindlessly doing greater rifts, and it feels exactly like Diablo 3. Like
Really?
it just feels exactly like Diablo 3. There's like, I don't even know how to put it. I'm walking through here, like there's no challenge to it. Like you know how rifts were before greater rifts, like how you literally just roll through rifts like they were nothing, and you didn't even care that the rifts even existed.
Yeah.
And you didn't even have any challenge unless you went to like, you know, like Greater Rift 100 or whatever it was that you were currently capable of. That's what it currently feels like. I'm just walking through this thing. I'm barely even paying attention. And I'm actually just like, my minions are basically creaming everything, which is certainly fun that the minions are now viable, but like there's no brain power required in this. And the Guardian Rift portal literally pops up right underneath your butthole. Can't miss it. So as soon as you complete the timer, the portal just spawns under your butt.
I don't understand their logic. Like, so what is the point of a Nightmare Dungeon and a Greater Rift having both of them in the game? Like, okay, one gives you glyph and one gives you masterworking? Like, that's it?
I mean, basically you're not getting any glyph XP from the pits. So yeah. So you're gonna have to grind both. You're gonna have to do Nightmare Dungeons, and you're gonna have to do the new Doojank.
What they can. I don't even know what this conversation's in reference to.
He feels that creators like me have pushed Diablo to this state because we were overly negative about the game, and basically, I can pretty much tell you exactly what John thinks, and it's bullshit, by the way. But he basically thinks that every single creator's complaining and constant bashing of the game caused the developers to change the game completely into something that it wasn't, when that's not really what any of us asked for. I mean, we asked for things like being able to zoom out the camera, and they would give us things like Abattoir of Zir. And we're like, we didn't ask for Abattoir of Zir. We asked for being able to zoom out the camera. And, like, we asked for aspects being able to be stored in the storage, and then they gave us something else weird. And then finally, like, in this patch, they gave us a bunch of the stuff we asked for, but then they gave us a bunch of the stuff we didn't ask for as well, which is just really weird. Like, they were like, here, have a bunch of stuff that you didn't ask for, too. I mean, there's one thing if you want to say that, like, they asked for specific things, and then they gave us those specific things, and then we complained that we got those specific things. Nobody's complaining about aspects being stored in the storage. Nobody's complaining about finally being able to zoom out the camera. Nobody's complaining about, like, you know, the affixes being fixed and things like that. But then they took away things that they didn't need to touch. Like, why did they need to ruin rare items so that rare items are no longer useful? Who asked for that? Nobody asked for that. Like, why did they need to add the tempering and the master crafting system in the first place? They just seem overly unnecessary. And I don't know anybody that asked for greater rifts. Did people? I don't even think the people who play Diablo 3 like greater rifts. I know I didn't. I freaking hated greater rifts when I played Diablo 3. It was boring. I had much more fun doing the bounties. As sad as it is, I had much more fun doing the bounties in Diablo 3 than I did doing the greater rifts.
I said earlier, I'd prefer if the tempering masterworking replaced the current reroll system. Because the current reroll system is boring. You're just spamming reroll until maybe you get what you want, or the item's brick because it's too expensive.
But the tempering system is so limited, though. Have you seen what options are on there?
That's what I mean. I'd rather like it be global and you kind of target what you want. That would have been more interesting.
But there's like there's no options on there that are even remotely interesting, except for some of the new ones that they added, like the double chance for the mages, or the chance for the mages to like double attack and stuff like that. But there's a whole lot of really terrible ones in there that nobody wants. And then on top of that, there's a whole bunch of them missing too. Like, what happened to all the passives? Like, all the passives on the amulets. What happened to the passives? They're all just missing?
I don't know, yeah. I'd love to see a list of all the affixes possible now, after the patch.
I need more time. I need more time.
I wish I could have a sit down with these developers and understand what the hell's going on in their mind. Not on TV, not on YouTube, nothing. I just want to talk to them, like man to man. I just want to have a conversation with them and understand what the hell's going on.
Like, there's a lot of positives, right? I could say a lot of the new itemization, like the frozen orb thing, that looks great. The camera zoom out, great. There's just a lot of things that I like and a lot of things I don't like.
But here's my thing about all that, all right? So let's pretend that, you know, the frozen orb thing works out 100%. It's amazing, okay? Let's pretend that Minion Necromancers work out 100% and they're amazing, right? Like, is it gonna work at Greater Rift 200, though? Like, have they balanced this stuff out so that all of the character builds are actually viable? Because at a certain point, it doesn't matter if you add in all this cool stuff. If you add a zone that character's not capable of playing in, and you add, like, entire tiers above that the character's not capable of playing in, then who's going to play the Frozen Orb Sorceress if she can't handle any of the content above, like, a certain level?
I agree. I mean,
So, I mean, all the positives in the world don't mean anything if you basically destroy all those positives with the pit system, which basically makes all of those builds unviable. Like, let's add 100 builds into the game, but then only, like, 2 of those builds can actually complete the content. I mean, it's like the age-old story. You know, it's a song as old as time. It's a rhyme as old as a dime. You know, I'm just making fun of the song now. But basically, you can't add infinitely scaling content unless all your characters are balanced. Because if you don't have all your characters and your builds balanced, then basically only a certain number of characters are ever going to make it to the higher tier content. I mean, and one could say that maybe that's part of their balancing procedure. So maybe they're just going to make this infinitely scaling content. They're going to see who can actually make it. And then once they see who can actually make it, then they start working on the ones who can't. But, I mean, how does that make a person feel when they're trying to play one of those characters that can't make it? And you didn't know that the character couldn't make it, and they didn't know that the character couldn't make it, but you find out together that the character can't make it, and then 2 or 3 patches later they finally fix it. But that didn't really help your playthrough for that particular season, that you chose the build that they introduced that couldn't make it to the higher tier content.
What's the point of having 200 or 250 tiers? Like, why can't we just have, like, the pits, and they're a certain difficulty? There's the Uber version of the bosses, which we wanted, certain difficulty. Why do you need, like, 200 plus tiers?
They're not Uber versions. Didn't you see what level they are? They're level 200. Remember when I was talking about how they were just going to keep increasing the level of the monsters to the point where literally nobody could keep up in damage reduction and armor mitigation and stuff like that? They're level 200 monsters. The amount of armor that you're going to need to protect yourself versus those guys is going to be like 25,000 or something. I don't even know. Like, it's gonna be really high. And doesn't the Greater Rift go up even higher than that? Didn't they say it was tier 250?
Yeah, I think they said 250. That number rings a bell.
It's going to be Diablo 3 one-shot party all over again. Do you remember back in Diablo 3 where, like, you'd forget what rift you were in? And so you'd, like, pull up a rift and you'd walk in, immediately get one shot, and you'd be like, oh, yeah, okay, I'm not ready for this rift yet. Let's go back down a couple. And then you'd go back down a couple and, like, you'd still get one shot. And then you'd go back down, like, 30 or 40 and you'd be one-shotting everything. And you'd get upset because you couldn't figure out what rift number you left off on. And then you'd keep going upward until you finally, like, get one shot again, and you'd go back down by 1 so that you'd finally figure out what number you left off on. Like, that's what it's going to be like. There's going to be so many tiers and so many levels, and your friends are going to carry you through some, which is going to make it worse. And then you're going to have to figure out where you can actually fight. So you're just going to run in and die a whole bunch, basically. I never understood this way of thinking. Like, I was always a fan of the other way of thinking. Because you can increase the difficulty of the monsters massively, and then you can just be stupid about it and just constantly keep powering up the characters to match the monsters. Or you can do it the Diablo 2 style, which is basically you have the monsters at a set power level, and then you balance the players around that power level that the monsters are at. And I always thought balancing the players around the monster level was a lot better than balancing the monster level around the players.
I agree. I hate scaling content. I like difficulty. I like challenging, but I hate just infinite or extreme scaling. It just, okay, this mob has 1,000 more health than before. That's super fun. I just need to do 1,000% more damage.
It's a difficulty progression system. I mean, not really. If you know how to play your character and you have the skill and you build your character correctly, you will always pretty much end up at about the same point before you start grinding for power. And that's exactly what Leon just said. He's like, okay, I just beat this monster and I did it just fine, and now in this next difficulty, I need 1,000% more damage to be able to kill this monster. It's not difficulty, it's not progression. It's literally just you already beat this monster, and now they just gave him a whole bunch more HP. So you've got to grind out more equipment and then increase yourself even further. But there's no skill gain in the process. You're not really progressing as a player. You're just progressing your equipment, which is completely different. And you already have all the equipment you need, but now you need, what, 2% extra on this piece of equipment and 2% extra on this piece. It's Diablo 3 all over again. Like, you remember Diablo 3? You'd collect your set, you'd get your whole set, everything would be good. You'd have all the pieces of your set that you needed, right? And then as soon as you got to, like, a certain tier of greater rifts, you just get your butt handed to you. So you'd have to find slightly, if infinitesimally, better pieces of gear for your set, and then replace those pieces with the pieces that you were wearing, so that you got like a 1% upgrade here or a 2% upgrade there. And you're only able to do more difficult content after you complete the less difficult content. Alright? And if there's always more difficult content, what then? So if there's always a more difficult content, no matter what, then what then? Is it just infinite progression? And at what point does infinite progression just simply become this? The moral of the story is that infinite progression is literally just a hamster wheel. We don't want a hamster wheel. The player base doesn't want a hamster wheel that you run in infinitely. The player base wants a road that you eventually reach the end of, and you culminate your ultimate power in that road that has an ending. When you create a hamster wheel, you just create an infinite road of upgrade to combat the new thing that is now slightly more powerful than you were before, which then you have to farm to get the new thing to fight the thing that's slightly more powerful than it was before. In most games, there is an end to the progression. The end to the progression results in you becoming ultimately powerful. The way that this is set up, you never become ultimately powerful because there is never an end. And because there's no end, you are constantly progressing. And if you are constantly progressing, then it's not progression, it's a hamster wheel. There has to be an end to progress to. You're not just running in a hamster wheel for no purpose other than just to run in the hamster wheel. You want to be able to hit some sort of ultimate end power goal. Your best in slot equipment, essentially. With the way that they currently have this, I don't think there even is a best in slot equipment, and if it is, it's next to impossible to obtain. We're going to keep going up this list until we finally cap out. The only people that think that this saved Diablo 4 is the people who played Diablo 3. I hate to say it. And I mean, it might sound like I'm bad-mouthing, but I mean, people like Rax and Wadijo that liked Diablo 3. They enjoyed Diablo 3. They see this as a pro. And, I mean, I guess if you like Diablo 3 and you want greater Rift spamming for the rest of your life, I guess that's great. Yay. The ultimate goal is as far as you can push. Okay. And the problem with that is that each individual build and each individual class can only push so far. So if you have, for instance, and this becomes the ultimate determining factor in whether or not a class is viable and whether or not a class is useful, is that if you can't push Greater Rift 250, then your class and your build is deemed useless. Right? So if you can't, and this is what ends up happening, is if you can't clear the highest content, you become essentially, in the eyes of the community, trash. Oh, you're playing a Minion Mancer? Who plays Minion Mancers? Look at this guy. He has minions on his Necromancer. That's all you need to know about this guy, is that he has minions on his Necromancer. Tune the stream out, because you don't need to listen to anything this guy says, because he has minions on his Necromancer. Minions can't even clear Greater Rift 100. Let alone 200, let alone 250. This guy's trash. Don't listen to anything that this guy says. He's got minions. And y'all think I'm joking. Y'all just wait. Although the minions do seem a lot more powerful than they were before. But the stigma of the minions is going to remain, mark my words. That despite the fact that they've beefed the minions up, and even if the minions become viable, there will still be people out there that are like, ew, Minion Mancer, ew, you must suck at the game, you're terrible. Do I have to understand class limits? I mean, by the definition of, if I compare myself to apples and apples, then yes. If I compare myself versus another Necromancer who can only reach Greater Rift 130, but I can reach 150, then I'm a god of Minion Necromancers, yes. But being the king of trash, you're still trash. I mean, if you're the king of trash, you're still trash. That's how the community thinks. So being the king of trash doesn't necessarily mean anything. I'm waiting until I get to one of these greater rifts that's actually difficult. I'm trying to push my way through them so I can get there, but it's taking some time. Something else is bothering me. I mean, to be honest with you, you know what's really bothering me is the fact that I think Diablo 4 could have made minimal changes and would have still been a really great game, but they decided to almost completely ruin the spirit of Diablo 4 by copying two other games, which is Last Epoch and Diablo 3. And in the process of copying those two other games, I feel like it's completely losing any kind of specialness that it had. Like, there was definitely a uniqueness to this game that existed before all this bullcrap got dumped into the pot. And now all this bullcrap got dumped into the pot, and it's more like, okay, well, I guess, you know, we're just gonna regress back to Diablo 3 at this point. I can be negative if I want to be negative. I've been positive about Diablo 4 for a very long time. And right up until the point where they added greater rifts back into the game, which I absolutely abhor. That's a real word, by the way. Abhor. Abhor means to loathe, to hate, and while loathe and hate have roots in Old English, abhor derives from Latin. The roots of abhor can give us a deeper understanding of both the strength of the dislike expressed by the word and its relationship to other words. Greater rifts are something that I think were probably one of the worst content that's ever been added to any game in the history of gaming. It's literally just a giant hamster wheel that you run on for eternity, and in the hopes that you're too stupid to understand that the hamster wheel that you're running on goes on forever. I mean, if you want to be a hamster, I guess.
Greetings. How shall I guide my hammer? More there than I thought.
Yay, I've upgraded it to tier 3.
I'll keep my forge hot. Return soon.
I mean, what the hell even is this anyway? Like, I don't even understand. Like Leon was talking about earlier. Like, what's the point of adding the greater rifts into the game? Are not the nightmare dungeons essentially the same thing as the greater rifts anyway? What's the difference between the two of them? I mean, one of them has a timer and doesn't drop loot.
I need more time.
At least the nightmare dungeons were more interesting. Heck, the vaults were more interesting. I'm honestly very sad that the vaults have gone away. I'm also very sad that the Seneschal has gone away, to be honest, both of them. Both the Seneschal and the vaults were two things that from Season 3 that I really wish had stayed. I really wish they had kept the Seneschal permanently, and I really wish they had kept the vaults. The vaults were superior to Nightmare Dungeons in every single way. Nightmare Dungeons are absolutely garbage compared to vaults, and these stupid greater rifts are not better than the vaults either. Silver Fox, do you know what makes Diablo 2 so special? Do you even know what makes Diablo 2 so special? Most people don't. Most people who've played Diablo 2 for years don't know what makes Diablo 2 so special. Some of the people in this chat right now that have played Diablo 2 for a long period of time don't know what makes Diablo 2 so special. It's not the itemization. It's not the Ubers. It's not the skills. It's not the classes. It's not the way that the skill effects work. It's not the items. It's not the unique items. It's not the rune words. Do you guys actually know what makes Diablo 2 so special?
I need more time.
What actually makes Diablo 2 so special is the way that it generates its content. That's what makes Diablo 2 so special. Diablo 2's content is generated by the player, by the actions of the player. I don't really know how to explain this to you, but through my testing, I have found out that basically the game actually creates the content based upon the way that you play it. Which means that every single person in existence that has ever played Diablo 2 has had a different experience than the previous person, because the way that the game generates its content is specifically designed to generate a unique experience for each individual player. And not only that, but every single time you play slightly differently than you do the time before, which also in turn changes the way that you receive the monsters that spawn, the types of monsters, the map that's going to spawn, like where the chests are going to be located, what loot falls on the ground. The entire thing is literally decided by the player. Every single time you log in, it's not random. A lot of people believe that the things that happen in Diablo 2 are random, and they don't understand that the game is actually alive. It lives and breathes because you live and breathe. And every action that you take guides what you're seeing on the screen and what happens within the game, which is why Diablo 2 feels so fresh and so new no matter how many times you play it, because it's not random. It's actually guided by your own actions.
I'm not ready yet.
Yes, you summon the extra fast, extra strong death pack. By the route that you take, by the things that you click on, yes, you actually cause that to happen. Diablo 2 is not a nostalgia fix. Diablo 2 is one of the greatest games that's ever been made. And it has nothing to do with nostalgia. It has a lot. You only believe that because you want to believe that older games are not any good. But the truth is that Diablo 2 is still better than this game. By miles.
I need more time.
We're at 114 and I'm still rolling through it, so let's just keep going. Oh look, the Guardian portal. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. Your opinion's wrong, but you're still entitled to it. There's no way you've played Diablo 2 more than me, Silver Fox. I've been playing it for 24 years.
That cannot be salvaged.
My hammer sings on your return.
The wonders of
Let's go ahead and
sanctuary at your
upgrade this armor djank while we're at it. I love when people try to make it seem like they know more about this game than I do. I've literally done a video on every single item in this game in Diablo 2. I forget that I'm not playing Diablo 2. I've literally done a video on every single item in Diablo 2. Every single skill, every single effect, every single everything that's ever existed. I even know how to manipulate the RNG to make burr runes fall out of thin air. Like, I don't, unless you're another Diablo 2 content creator, there's probably zero chance you know more about the game than me. And I'm still constantly learning on a regular basis, which is how I know that I know more than you, Silver Fox, because literally I never stop learning more about the game. On a regular basis, I am constantly trying to learn more about Diablo 2. Just recently, I started to learn more about how Magic Find works in Diablo 2, and basically determined that Magic Find has a lot less effect than we originally thought. Stay tuned for that, because I will eventually be doing an entire live stream determining essentially how Magic Find works in Diablo 2 and the actual rules involved in it, which I've started to figure out and piece together some of it already, which it's actually pretty surprising that Magic Find doesn't work the way that we thought it does at all. And it might also explain some of the addiction that we have to the game. Age doesn't matter, Silver Fox. Why not go even further than that, Silver Fox? What random variable determines the item that drops from a super chest? What random variable determines the stats that drop from a super chest item?
I need more time.
What set gave you infinite skills in Diablo 2? Come on, let's answer each one of the questions. You want to test knowledge, let's answer all the questions. What set gave you infinite skills in Diablo 2? What was the method for creating combined uniques? And how was it patched? Your mom gives me infinite skills? That's terrible, Mia. Don't let her give you infinite skills. They're bootleg. They're bootleg infinite skills. You don't want those. I wonder if this stuff carries over between characters. Like, if I make a new character, does my new character get access to the rifts immediately? The greater rifts?
You should test it.
Oh yeah. Are you still here, Leon, or are you not here? What's up?
I'm here, dude. I've been trying to get a character going, man.
Dude, it's some work. It's some work. Like, you gotta spend time finding the items. You gotta go redo the affixes. You gotta put the affixes on there with the tempering system. Like 20 different frickin' affixes, and it's gonna take you like 40 or 60 rolls to get the ones you want. Then you gotta like frickin' go gem everything, and then you gotta go do the pit, and you gotta go get your frickin' it's like a frickin' full-time job, 8-hour work day just to frickin' make your character work. I spent like the first 2 hours of the stream in town just trying to make the character work.
Yep. What I'm doing right now. So interesting, if I changed, I kept getting poison damage over and over again on my roll, but I changed it to a different like option in the list, and then I got something different when I went back. I wonder if it just locks you into the same thing. That's the problem you were having.
Forum gold is not allowed on ladder, John. JSP is not a legal organization within the Diablo 2 community. I mean, people have gotten banned over JSP and modding and all sorts of other stuff. It's not something that's technically within the EULA. Diablo 2 just basically became abandonedware. That was the problem. So when Diablo 2 got to the point where Blizzard no longer cared about it, they stopped policing it. And when they stopped policing it, they basically made it so that you could get away with anything. Botting, hacking, duping, exploiting, whatever the hell you wanted. And once it got to the point where that was occurring, people just assumed that it was okay, despite the fact that there were messages on a regular basis literally spammed in the chat telling them that it wasn't. They're like, yeah, just ignore that message that said that it's illegal to do this. You know, it totally is legal. Nobody's going to ban you. Don't worry about it. And they didn't. You know why? Because there was nobody policing Diablo 2 LOD anymore. Diablo 2 LOD has got like zero policing going on. The bots run rampant. Like, there were so many bots in Diablo 2 LOD, they would just advertise that they were bots in chat, like, for everyone to see. In Diablo 2 Resurrected, they're a little less bold. The bots don't advertise. They do have advertising accounts, which they make advertising games for, but they don't advertise that they're bots anymore on their bot accounts. JSP kept that game alive for years. Let me reword that for you. JSP absolutely brutally murdered that game for years. The game literally was murdered into the dirt to the point where the bots had taken over everything. People were farming items 24/7 in all games. The items that you found were absolutely useless because the JSP community had created an economy that was based around perfect items only. You would literally see anything that was not perfect just sold to NPC. Like, oh, you found a Harlequin crest that was like 2 defense off of perfect? Well, sell it to NPC. Oh, you found a Herald of Zakarum that was 2 defense off of perfect? Well, sell it to NPC. Nobody wants that bull crap, that piece of garbage. Oh, you got an Annie that wasn't a 2020 Annie? We'll sell that to NPC because nobody wants that bull crap. It's not perfect. The economy and the actual like game that JSP created in Diablo 2 was not saving it. It was a terrible experience, and anybody who played on Diablo 2 before the end of Diablo 2 LOD and the beginning of Diablo 2 Resurrected knows exactly what I'm talking about, because the game was literally just full of bots. Nobody played with each other anymore, and literally the only items that were worth anything were perfect equipment. It was not a good economy that JSP had created. They had created a garbage economy that nobody wanted to participate in. I need to masterwork my focus. Let's masterwork the focus. Can we masterwork the focus?
I gave my hammer. More bear than I thought.
I thought we were supposed to be able to masterwork the item 12 times is what they said?
I think so, yeah. I think that's right.
Well, how come it only has 4 pips?
Every 4 pips, something special is supposed to happen. Like one gets targeted.
Ah, okay. So basically, the 4 pips represent each like big upgrade, essentially. But it still seems kind of silly that they'd have 12 upgrades and only 4 pips, though. I mean, if that was the case, why wouldn't it go up 1 pip per 4 upgrades or something? And I don't know. It just seems stupid. I hate it when people make that stupid comment that JSP saved Diablo 2. It's like, ugh. Ugh. The community that JSP created was awful. And if you really think that was a good community, then you're awful.
I don't even know why JSP is being brought up. Every game has RMT. It's not a good thing. PoE has it. World of Warcraft has it. People buy gold all the time.
Oh, if you talk to the JSP apologists, JSP is not RMT according to the JSP apologists. It's not RMT.
What? How is it not RMT?
That's every single person that I've ever talked to that is on the JSP side of things, that believes that JSP is a good thing, that it somehow saved Diablo 2. They also at the same time hold this this thought close to their heart, and they won't let it go, that JSP is somehow not real money trade, despite the fact that it totally is real money trade, and they just don't want to admit it. They'd be like, but you can't sell your JSP currency. And then I literally show them that you can sell the JSP currency. And they're like, but that's illegal, and you'll get banned for it. And I'm like, but people do it all the time. So how illegal is it, really? Like, the people that really believe that you can't sell JSP currency, let me just show you real quick, just for lulz, because you guys are just, like, holding you're clutching your pearls a little bit too tightly. Let me show you this. This is eBay right here, okay? This is eBay. Sorry for your eyes. This is eBay. Look, I can buy as much gold as I want to. There's multiple sellers on here. Multiple sellers on here, all selling JSP Forum Gold. And you know what the silly thing is I can go and I can look at let's see here. We're gonna go to already sold. So I'm gonna show you that it happens on a regular basis. So we're gonna go to sold and completed items only. And look at this. Oh, look at that. Sold. Sold, 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 sold. $139. Look at that. Sold, 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 sold. Look at this. Going all the way back as far as you can see. And I'm sure I could find even more on here if I really wanted to dig deep. You can buy JSP Forum Gold. You can buy it even with donations. You can sell it. You can do whatever you want to with it if you're tricky enough.
I'm not ready yet. I need more time.
Oh, so it's actually just called Aspect of the Moonrise now. They just straight up are like, all right, here you go.
Yeah, they just added a lot of the vampiric powers as aspects. Did you see that that firebolt change? I actually think that could make a really sick basic build. Basically, they have that aspect now that makes it so that when you cast firebolt through your firewall, it automatically splits into multiple firebolts.
That looks awesome.
And then so you would set up your basic build with that, build your firebolt around it, you'd get your firewall for free. Firewall's pretty good too because it also increases the damage of basically all the fire effects, like whenever they're burning by firewall, so it wouldn't hurt to have an extra firewall on the field. You can just put firewalls all over the place. Just be firing off tons of firebolts using your Moonrise aspect, the aspect of adaptability. Throw in a couple other things. Maybe get like your attack speed up as fast as you can. You're just shooting off tons of firebolts. What do I think of PD2? I don't really like PD2. I think they kind of ruined the spirit of the game.
I'm not ready yet.
I think they took things too far. PD2 reminds me of like stuff that I did when I was a kid. If that makes sense. Like when I was a kid, I would go into Diablo 2 and I would giggle and laugh as I added in like tons of modifiers to my equipment and cheated myself whatever I wanted. And I mean, PD2 really feels like somebody was a little kid and decided they wanted to just like change the game in like a bunch of little kid cheaty ways and then turned it into an actual mod and then like released it for people to play.
I'm not ready yet.
Which is all cool and all, because when I was a kid I loved doing that. But it's not really something I want to play. Did I accidentally... Dang it, wrong button. Well, so far I'm up to like tier... I don't even know what I'm up to. Like tier 20 right now, or tier 17 or something like that.
So you have to go one tier at a time. You can't even just challenge it and say, look, my character's strong enough to jump this.
No, well, it's not one tier at a time, but it's close enough. It's like they're forcing me to do like, I think it's like 4 tiers at a time. So like every 4 tiers, or every time I complete one, it seems like I'm getting about 4 tiers.
Okay.
So let me look now. So I'm currently at 21 is what I'm currently at. I think last one was 17, so I think I went up from 17, 18, 19, about 4. I think I went up about 4. No, I'm just climbing up the pits at this point. This is such riveting gameplay for you guys to watch, I'm sure. Literally me doing the same exact content over and over again. I mean, when I used to do Magic Find runs in Diablo and I do the same Magic Find run over and over again, at least there was the excitement of getting, like, some really cool item. But, like, I don't know. This almost feels like Bale runs to me. Like back in the day when you would just run Bale like 1,000 times in a row.
I need more time.
Sing us a song. Do you raccoon? Do you raccoon like me? Do you raccoon? Do you raccoon like me? Stick your grubby paws up in the air and wave them around like you just don't care. Cause you're a raccoon and you gotta pick up everything. A grubby raccoon with the grubby paws, but that's okay. Cause I washed them all in the water by the pool in the pond next to your car. It was shining with a rhythmic rainbow scar. But I washed my grubby paws before I dug into the trash. And now I'm going to wash my findings off in the trash. Cause there's a puddle at the bottom of the can. And I can wash my trash in the puddle at the can. And I will eat my trashy donut that I found inside the can, with mold and little maggots rolling out by my hand. Those are bacon bits, by the way. Those are raccoon bacon bits. They like those. You guys ever think about that, by the way? You know, when cows are grazing, like when they're grazing cows, you know, the cows are grazing in the field and they're eating. You don't think they're sucking up like grasshoppers and crickets and ants and all sorts of other stuff? They are. Those are like bacon bits on the cow's salad. Y'all think the cows are vegetarians. They're not vegetarians. They actually deliberately hunt down those bacon bits. Like, that's the good part of the salad. Like, yeah, they eat salad. Yeah, but they also like those little bacon bits as well. They like the little grubs and the crickets and they like all the little extra things that are on their salad, you know. Just like you guys do. You put bacon bits on your salad and croutons and you know, they want some little, you know, like little chicken cutlets on their little salad. They want the chicken cutlets. There's a horrible video on the internet, by the way, if you want to curse yourself and look it up. It's literally a video of a cow deliberately hunting down baby chicks, and eating them one by one like popcorn chicken. Popcorn chicken. How's my Decrepify taking up the entire screen? Apparently there's a modifier called curse size or something. It's stupid. I didn't even want it, but it's there. I'll show it to you in a second. Hold on. Ow, ow, ow. Ingolith. What the hell is Ingolith? Ingolith popped out instead of the other stuff. Who is cool guy? Why are you sending me friends requests? What the hell is the Ingoliths? Instead of Obdusite, this time I got Ingoliths. Is there a difference between the two? Like, what's the? I don't know the difference between the two.
This Dust Devil stuff is crazy.
I heard the Dust Devils also scale with your weapon now, so
Yeah,
that sounds really interesting.
So I'm playing my basic build that I love, and I added some new stuff into it, and I don't have like Ramal Ding Dong. I don't have any of that stuff.
You don't got a Ramalama Ding Dong?
No, but this is really fun.
I just found a razor plate. Should I put it on and see how my minions slice up monsters?
Yeah, do it. Let's create Minion Thorns right now.
Slice there. Now they got slices. They got slicey dices. They can slice, they can dice, they can make julienne fries, and they do it really good while they're making their ties. While they're tying their ties. Yeah, now I'm at 24, so I went from 21 to 24. So it seems to go up by, I don't want to say 4 tiers, because 21 doesn't count. So it's 3 tiers each time, is what it looks like. So when you complete one, you go up by 3 tiers. I don't know what tier I'm currently on as far as monster level. I think I'm like at 120 something maybe. I'm not very high. What's a 100 nightmare dungeon? 145?
154.
154. So I'm not even close. Like I'm not even close to like a nightmare dungeon yet. Like a maxed out nightmare dungeon. I was kind of excited about the needle flare aspect working on the minions, though. I thought that was pretty neat. Like, just setting up, like, a full minion jank and getting, like, full thorns, and then...
That build would be crazy.
With, like, all the needle flares going off all over the place, it would be nuts. I think it would probably even work really well for minions, if you think about it. Because if each minion can make his own needle flare... and you have like a boss swing his weapon and hit all of your minions, you could potentially have, what, 13 needle flares go off at the same time? That'd be a lot of damage.
I think Sork will have one of the strongest builds, if not multiple. I think Necro will have one of the strongest builds, if not multiple. I think Rogue will as well.
Dude,
Rogue
got
and
so
Bard
many
on
heals. Rogue is going to be the most annoying thing in PvP at this point with all the heals that they've got.
It's not just the heals; it's 100% dodge. Like you're not going to be able to hit them.
Well, it's
if
not
you're,
even.
like, a melee-
Well, it's not even that. They added the aspect of this. The crowded sage got turned into a heal for dodging. So they throw their 100% dodge up, and then they full heal while they're dodging, and then when their 100% dodge wears off, they're back at full health.
It's crazy.
Like, they're going to be next to impossible to kill in PvP unless you can one-shot them. Like, you're basically just going to have to one-shot them, and if you don't one-shot them, they're not dying.
I'm not ready yet. I need more time. I need more time.
Oh yeah, that's something that I haven't tried. I wonder if I take a legendary aspect, put it on a rare item, and then take it to the tempering system. Does it suddenly gain an additional aspect or something?
I need more time.
I mean, if it gains an additional aspect, it's still random though, right? So, what aspect would it gain? I don't know. I really don't know. We'll try it though, just for lulz.
Oh, you haven't tested the rare yet? Is that what you said?
I'm not
Well, I know I took the rare and I put it in the tempering system. It only gets 2,
Oh.
but what I didn't do was I didn't imbue a rare and then
Turn it
take
into a legendary first.
and then turn it into a legendary and then see if it still gains the same amount,
Right.
or if it like retains the less legendary. I don't know. I really don't know.
I know what you mean. Yeah, we gotta test that.
I'm not ready yet.
Poor guy, he didn't even stand a chance. Okay, I'm trying to understand what the hell's going on here. So why am I all of a sudden not getting the material that I need, but I'm getting a different material that I don't need? So I need the Obducite to upgrade my equipment. And I was getting Obducite up until a certain level of the greater rifts, and now that the greater rifts have exceeded a certain level, now I'm getting Ingolith instead of Obducite, and I don't need Ingolith to upgrade my items. I need Obducite. But I'm not getting Obducite anymore. Like, what's going on there? Can I convert Ingolith into Obducite? Is that like a thing? I don't know.
Getting horrible frame rate and everything.
You might have to reboot the game. I had some sort of issue where it said it was running out of memory. And I had to, the game crashed and said that it ran out of memory, and I'm like, I've got 32 gigs of RAM. Like, it didn't run out of memory. Alright, so let's just take a random rare. Doesn't matter. Let's imbue it with something. I don't know. What do I got on mine? I've got the Royal Boneblade of Reanimation. Okay, so I imbued the wand, and it still has 2 aspects, or 2 affixes, so it did not get an increase in the number of affixes. Let's take it over to the tempering system. Tempering system still only lets you put 2, so no, it's still borked. Unfortunate. I'm really not sure what they're thinking, to be perfectly honest. Did I just accidentally destroy the unique armor? I did. Okay, whatever.
I don't know. Man.
Accidentally destroyed my razor plane.
There has to be a purpose to lower tier items. You can't just have the only thing that drops is legendary. It's the only thing I care about. What's so legendary if the legendary is the only thing that drops? Like, there's nothing legendary about that. There's nothing.
Well, I mean, yeah, isn't that the whole thing? Is that legendaries are supposed to be like rare and valuable, but now you're basically saying that legendaries are what, bottom tier? They're bottom tier now. Yeah, they're basically the lowest tier that you can possibly get, because rare items are now are not even on the menu anymore.
Meat's not on the menu, boys.
It's not on the menu. See, I'm trying to figure out if adding attack speed, like if I were to use something like the Moonrise aspect, since they're inheriting 100% of my stats now, if I use that and get the attack speed increase, does that mean that they are getting the attack speed increase as well?
They should. Yeah, they inherit whatever you get, so it should work that way. Like if you're gaining stacks of attack speed, they should be gaining your attack speed that you're gaining. It should just be inheriting everything.
Oh, boom, 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 boom.
Why do I don't even want to pick up these rares.
I mean, other than taking them back for resources, there's really no purpose in picking them up at all, to be honest. I really don't like the way that they reorganized the aspects. Like, I like the way it was before. This new way is I don't like it. I don't know why. I just don't like it. And maybe I'm just an old person who doesn't like change, but like, I mean, it just feels worse. It feels objectively worse.
My character is so squishy in HellTide.
So I got a better one of these hardened bones. They did a really good change to the hardened bones aspect, though, which I really liked. Which is, it basically made it to, instead of it working just for your minions, it works for you as well. So now you don't feel like you're making yourself weaker to make your minions stronger. Now you're actually making both of you and the minions are both getting the damage reduction, which just feels better in general. The grumpy old man archetype? Okay, get off my lawn! Dang it.
Dang kids.
Dang dirty kids, get off my lawn! I like the change that they did for the golem, which is they basically made it so that the golem can pull in so that you don't feel like you're wasting a spot, essentially. So if you use the iron golem with the slam, he has a pull in, basically, which allows him to kind of take the place of corpse tendrils, which is really interesting. So that way you can remove corpse tendrils and put the golem in, and then you don't feel like you're wasting something from having the golem in. I don't know if he's technically better than the corpse tendrils, but he definitely works. He pulls in stuff just like the corpse tendrils does. You don't get that really big damage bonus though, but he does damage when he pulls everything in though, so I don't really know. He pulls them all in and then he slams. And since he's getting 100% of your stats now, he actually does some pretty significant damage.
I need more time. I need more time.
This ability to self-heal myself is kind of nice too. I basically just use the aspect, it's called the aspect of the Blood Getters, or Blood Getters aspect. It makes it so that your skeletal priests now empower you at 57%, or I can do 70% effectiveness. So the the priests have a heal. It's, what is it? Increasing the damage by 30% times and healing them for 40% over their maximum life. So it gives me a 30% damage buff for myself, and it also gives me the heal, which is pretty cool. Actually, the skeletal priest went from the worst thing in the world to actually something halfway decent.
Yep. And that's what I mean too. It's like there's a lot of things I like.
And there's a lot of things I like too. I mean, I could be a grumpy old man about the rifts.
Yep.
All you Diablo 3 players, I mean, I have a serious question for the Diablo 3 players in the community. Did you really enjoy grinding the greater rifts over and over again? Like after, I'm not saying immediately because they're always going to be fun at first. But like after the 4,000th time that you ran the greater rifts, you were still having fun playing the greater rifts after 4001 and 4002. You were literally still having fun grinding the greater rifts over and over and over again? Because I know I didn't. And I was there right alongside you playing in those stupid greater rifts. The never-ending story isn't actually never-ending. Did you not watch the never-ending story too? Where he yells at him for opening up the book? He's like, why did you open the book? Because the never-ending story isn't meant to be read again. You're not supposed to read the never-ending story twice.
I need more time.
I feel like this build would do well with some corpse explosion added in, but like I feel like I don't have much to do other than just like I don't know. It doesn't feel like I'm very useful. Like because like when you're a necromancer in Diablo 2, you got your corpse explosion, so you always feel useful. Like even when your minions are doing their handiwork, you know, you still feel like you got your purpose. I don't feel like I got my purpose over here. I feel rather useless. Oh yay, death animations. What, I can't retreat in here? Oh, I was about to say. What the hell was that death animation? He fired off like a cluster grenade and all of a sudden like the whole screen was covered in explosions. Like how am I supposed to dodge that? I gotta see like a slow motion replay of this cluster grenade that just murdered me, because I don't feel like there was any way for me to dodge that. Let's do some rewinding of the cluster grenade, shall we? Oh lord. Ads. I get ads too. Okay, here we go. We're rewinding to the cluster grenade. Let's go. To the cluster grenade, boys! No. Oh, load. Load. Okay. Alright. Frame by frame. Here we go. You ready? We're going to frame by frame it. Alright, so he died. And as soon as he died, all of a sudden, like, a cluster grenade of bombs all of a sudden just appeared. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm literally trying to get my loot. I didn't even realize what the hell was going on. Look, 6, 7. What the hell even is this? And then all of a sudden they just all started exploding. And literally this one knocked me back into the next one, which hit me, and I literally just got knocked around in a circle. It felt like I was a ping pong ball. Like I literally got hit by this one that knocked me into this one that knocked me into this one. Like, what the hell even is this? Like ping pong ball territory? Watch me ping pong around. Watch this. Watch. Boom, boom, boom. I literally went ping, ping, ping between like 3 explosions. I was like boom, boom, boom. Where the hell did these ping pong balls come from? And why am I one of them? How do I like the Rift so far? They're boring? I don't know. I mean, I haven't really had any challenge with them whatsoever. I need to get to a higher tier before there is any kind of challenge involved. That's just the way the cookie crumbles, my friend. It's the way it crumbles. I don't like crumbly cookies. I like my cookies to be warm out of the oven and delicious. Somebody just made a comment on that old butt video where I was critiquing that one guy that was making fun of Diablo 4. And it's been so long since that video that the game isn't even the same game anymore. I don't even want to actually respond to any comments on that thing anymore because it's not even the same game anymore. The game has completely changed. We're back to Diablo 3 now. I've got Stygian stones. Evil, steeped in evil. Bring this stone to the altar of powerful foes to unleash their full potential, acquired from delving into the depths of the pit. It's a whole new old game. A fantastic new old game again. Playing Diablo 3. And Last Epoch. Ow. Rude. Dealing bonus damage. Have I tried the Reaper's cooldown reduction yet? I'm not really using a build that uses a lot of cooldowns right now, but I'm assuming it works pretty good. Ow. Especially if you were to combine it together with Abhorrent Decrepify, I would assume that you'd have almost instant cooldown reduction. Ow. So much poison. You know what skill I wish had a bigger area of effect? Blight. That's what skill I wish had a bigger area of effect.
For kinship ladder chat, I'm gonna just post some things so don't forget them.
Oh, yeah, sure. answer the question about the perfect Sork torch and how I sold it? I didn't sell it.
I need more time.
I didn't sell the Sork torch. Squiddy organized the runs. I'm the kinship owner, so, I mean, I had a little bit to say in it, but as soon as the torch dropped, I gave it straight to Squiddy. As far as I was concerned, the torch was Squiddy's, and Squiddy's to do with what he wanted. I made a recommendation that he could sell it off and potentially fund the entire kinship, and, but if he wanted to, he could just keep it. He decided to sell it off to fund the entire kinship. I didn't have any say in it, more so than I gave it to him. It was his. Does it surprise you that I gave away a $400 item with absolutely no thought whatsoever?
I need more time.
Should show you how much I trust Squiddy.
I'm not ready yet.
Cody, what are you doing over there?
I'm not ready yet.
You're always on some crack. You always got some cocaine running through your blood.
I'm not ready yet.
I mean, real talk. Like, let's answer some questions here real quick. So you guys are coming up with some interesting questions. Let's answer some questions. Did Diablo 3 did Diablo 3 did Diablo 4 get better with this patch? Yes, I believe it did. I think fundamentally they fixed a lot of the underlying issues with a lot of problems. Like, for instance, the codex. I think the codex aspects going into the codex was a big fix. The ability to zoom out your camera was a big fix. I feel like a lot of the stuff was fixes that they've done to the game. They definitely have adjusted a lot of things. I think Hoda being nerfed was a good fix. I don't really think Hoda needed to be doing like frickin' trillions of damage. And they adjusted some things like Tibolt's Will and Banished Lord's Talisman, which were definitely overtuned. Those are good fixes. I mean, are there bad things that they added to the game? Yes, I think there's bad things that they added to the game as well. I mean, but if you balance the bad things against the good things, like, which one wins? I mean, it's hard to tell at this particular point. Depends on how well they balance the game, I guess. I'm not entirely sure that the tempering system is an improvement, to be honest. The tempering system looks stupid. It looks stupid in Last Epoch, too. And, for those of you who like it in Last Epoch, I don't know what to tell you. I think it looks stupid in Last Epoch, and I think it looks stupid in this game, too. The entire idea of making a system that where you can just, like, completely brick an item that can potentially have, like, the best stats in the game is so silly. Can you imagine finding an item and you're like, oh my god, the perfect base! I can't believe it! I finally found the perfect base! Then you take it over the tempering and you brick the item in the tempering panel and all of your hopes and dreams just go straight down the drain. Took you like 3 years to find the perfect base, and then you brick it in the tempering window.
May your road be filled with wonders.
Greetings. How shall I guide my hammer?
I guess people like bricking items. I don't know. When I spend like freaking a year trying to find the perfect item, I kind of want to get the usefulness out of that perfect item when I finally find it.
Bright aura. Brighter soul.
Alright, what are we on now? Tier 31, that's what we're on now. Let's keep on going. What do you want, Cody? Do you want an elbow in the head? Dogs are the only creatures on the planet, I swear, that will literally put themselves in danger for no other reason other than to find out Like, if a dog was walking by a fan, and let's pretend the fan didn't have a cover on it, and the fan wasn't even going that fast, but let's say the fan hit the dog on the head, right? The dog doesn't learn from this. He doesn't go, hey, that fan hit me on the head. I probably shouldn't go over there. No, the dog chooses to fight the fan. The dog will go over and put his head deliberately in the way of the fan, as if to say in defiance, I'm not scared of you.